Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Here we are again, Mr. Pigpen.
Here we are. I'm pulling the microphone right off the stand. I'm so excited.
You are excited. Right?
I'm very excited. That's right. I'm excited because it's another Thursday night that they're letting us back in here. It's crazy.
Well, thanks to Halpin Music Company, Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance, we're covered. So that's why they let us in.
Double covered with Matt. I'm covered on my home and my car.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, we've said it before, we'll say it again. If he'll insure me, he'll insure anybody. Call him up.
Yeah.
Tell him to bring his guitar when he gives you a quote. Make him play some songs.
I feel odd that I don't have to load up an interview tonight. That we're just going straight to our guest. Right?
What do you mean we don't have? Oh, that's right. We've got a live guest here. I almost forgot. Mm-hmm. We've got Brett Guitar Lamar. You got to throw the guitar in there, right?
Thanks, Nick.
Oh, thanks, Nick. That's what he said. Thanks, Nick. He's thanking his partner, Nick, bandmate Nick, there for the Brett Guitar Lamar reference. And Nick is. Where did Nick go today? He promised me. No, it was actually Jared.
I to say anything simple, it's just life happens.
How do you deal with those guys? They just don't even show up. No.
It goes both ways. They have to deal with me too,
Now, I've seen you play all by yourself, though, without them. You don't even care if they don't show up. You're just, show's going to go on.
They make me walk the plank is what it is.
That's what it is. So, Brett Guitar Lamar here is, Brett Lamar is the guitar player and singer for LedSled, who we've had on. Man, it's been about a year or so back, wasn't it? About a year back?
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
And he's going to be in with us talking not only about LedSled, but we got some other ground to cover, some other musical ground to cover. That's not your only iron in the fire.
No, filling in, just being a hired guy.
Well, and doing your own thing, because I've walked into bars and seen just you by yourself. Yeah. So, well, we're going to cover a lot of ground. In addition to that, we got 4 pages of gigs to get through here.
Right, so
that's this side of the river, man.
Let's just jump right into tonight and get that out of the way.
Let's do it. Let's get the Thursday going.
So you got the Alton Muni Band at Riverview Park on Thursday nights. That starts at 8.
And that's every Thursday night through the summer, right?
I don't think Morrison's is going yet.
It's got to be getting close.
It's got to
be getting close.
But we do have the open mic downtown at Germania Brew House and the open mic down at Raging Cajun Piano Bar.
Yeah.
And then we got G.J. Denice down at Bossanova downtown. Martini bar.
Great martinis down there.
Oh, yeah. Up in Grafton, Music in the Park, nightlife tonight from 7 to 9. And then open mic down in Granite City at Imperial Pub.
A lot of open mics on Thursday night. Now, that's the local open mic night. So
yeah, and that one's at 9. So you could probably do a tour tonight. You could do the Germania and then go to Raging Cage and then down to
Granite for the Imperial. And if you're a musician thinking about a way to get your original music out or a way to get it out there, that's a good place to start. Or if you're just want to play in front of people, man, open mic night, great place to get out and get started.
And
but you played a lot of open mic nights, haven't you?
I played a lot of open mics. That's actually how LedSled got kind of started, really.
Really?
Yeah.
At an open mic night, just all 3 of you happened to be there and got up on stage together? And
yeah, it just kind of happened. Yeah.
See?
It was pretty cool, yeah.
That's one of the great things about open mic nights right there is that you don't know who you're going to meet and go, you know what, we should collaborate.
We should do this. Yeah.
Right? Because that's a cool thing, that happens at a lot of open mic nights. So encouraging all the young musicians and old alike, get out and get on the open mic nights. Sorry to interrupt Thursday night. But
No. I was just thinking, to add to your point, a place like Imperial Pub tonight, that could be a future gig that comes from an open mic session, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So, if you're a band looking for gigs, man, go to these open mic nights and play, and that's when you can walk up to the bar and go, hey, man, book me. Yeah. You heard me, now book me.
A lot of places will perk up, It's like, hey, who are these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly, yeah. You get the crowd and the bar people to perk up. Suddenly you're getting paid to come back on a Saturday instead of playing for free on a Thursday. But or come back and play for free on a Saturday. If you're me, nobody pays me to play. They've all heard me. So.
The old Stagger Inn in Edwardsville, that's been a classic open mic night for a long, long time, and a good chance to get in that bar as well. And they do theirs on Sunday and Wednesday nights. Tonight it's Adam Gaffney and the Highway Saints at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville.
Nice.
And then up there at the Wildy Theater, did you ever listen to 10,000 Maniacs?
I do. We used to have their album out at WLCA back in the day. Yeah, that's when I first got turned on to the 10,000 Maniacs.
Yeah, I don't even remember any of their songs.
Oh man, I was trying to remember. I'm trying to come up with one, and I can kind of picture the album. It wasn't Supernaut. No,
no, that was that's Black Sabbath. But
I'm just teasing.
That's still a great name, though.
Was that Black Sabbath?
Yeah, well, someone covered it, and I'd rather not mention the name of that band. So, anyway.
All right, so anyway, 10,000 Maniacs up at the Wildy Theater in Edwardsville. They get a lot of good stuff up there, Wildy. Al Canal doing a great job up there.
The name of that band, I didn't want to mention, it ties into Bobby Brown with Frank Zappa. So just, the story of Bobby Brown. We won't go any further. Oh, yeah. The DJ thing and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bob Griffin's a guy that's out quite a bit.
There you go.
He's doing the Bob Griffin duo up at Wiggler's.
There you go. It's Wiggler's
Holiday
up
Shores.
Holiday
Right?
Shores, yeah, absolutely.
And then Scott and Michelle, they're always active. They're down at LaSalle's in Granite City tonight from 6 to 8. And then the Mondin band down at Deutz Village in Granite.
Hard to beat the Mondin band. Literally,
So
like
there
you
you
try
go.
to beat them and they're tough. They beat you back.
And that's just Thursday night in the Riverbend.
That was Thursday night, man, and that's quite a bit going on. So anybody who says there's nothing going on, man, you're not paying attention.
What about you, Brett? You got anything going on this weekend?
Not this weekend.
Okay.
Well, actually, we do have a what is it? It's like a class reunion.
Okay.
I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
A friend of ours is part of that, so he hit us up and said, "Hey, you guys, you want to play this or?" I guess it's class of '95. So
Nice.
Shout out to those guys.
Nice.
Up in, is that up in Jerseyville?
The KC Hall, from what I understand.
KC
yeah.
Hall, nice.
So-
yeah.
So any 10,000 Maniac covers? That's mid-90s, right?
We've got some '90s in our set list, but it's typical '90s stuff.
Yeah.
That Weezer fastball. Kinda.
Okay.
The 90s, that's when everything was like, yeah. There was a lot of that, like vowels weren't really enunciated in a lot of the songs.
It's like
then.
trailed off.
So it was like the grunge bands knocking off the hair bands in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And then the thrash bands were like coming on strong during that time.
Yeah.
And then there was still the crazy pop music that was like all over the place from MTV, like 10,000 Maniacs, right?
It was a weird time to see the hair bands go down and grunge come in so quick. It had like in a blink of an eye, MTV changed.
Yeah.
And like, oh, they found something new. Angst. Angst is finally old enough. We'll give it a proper home right here on MTV.
I guess we're doing this,
Right. So, yeah, good times, man. So, 1995 class reunion, man. That'd be a good time, right?
It's something different, man. We find ourselves doing all kinds of weird gigs sometimes,
I bet you do.
And believe it or not, those are usually the most fun.
A lot of those last minute pop-up type gigs, right? So now you just had one of those recently, sitting in on bass with Broken Kingdom, right?
I did. That was a pretty good time. It was at Sonny's in Overland. It's a pretty good spot.
Never been to Sonny's in Overland.
It's an okay place, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't big. It was hot. Whew, boy, it was hot.
Well, that was that last weekend you did that?
That was Saturday night.
It was a hot weekend. So
It was a hot
pretty
weekend.
steamy. So
But I got to meet Ari Lehman. That was kind of cool. That was the first Jason guy,
Yeah.
the original Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was his band?
It was different. He plays a guitar, man, and it's fantastic. He has this big machete that he has on the back side of it. It's fantastic.
Guitar.
A guitar,
I
yeah.
did not expect that.
It's what
I really did not expect.
I mean, what are you going to call it? A sideways keyboard,
Right,
I guess.
yeah, no, it's a guitar. As soon as you said it, I pictured all those 80s bands. 'Cause those were huge in the 80s, man.
Yeah, even Judas Priest had them.
Yeah.
Right?
You got nothing coming.
Yeah.
That dance
It was
with them.
kind of like, the whole Van Halen went to keyboards, and then all them bands started doing
Oh
it.
man! So he had a big machete tape to it, or
Attached to it on the back side of it. Yeah, it was interesting. It was something.
Now were like his songs called like Crystal Lake or anything? Were there any like Jason related lyrics?
Well, I guess that's his whole thing. Is that he just kind of sings about Jason and that whole experience. I mean, it was something different. It's kind of cool though, to carry a career like that. So props to that guy,
Absolutely. To take a one-time bit that you did and turn that into, I'm going to keep going with this character.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I guess he was a teenager when he did it too, so it was early on. So, hey, again, props to that guy for
absolutely. But now, did you find the songs interesting? Any of his music interesting, or
it was? I don't know, man. That's hard for me to answer because I'm not really big into keys. The whole punk thing isn't really my.
I knew there was something about this guy I didn't like.
Yeah, that's it.
I knew. I'm not big into keys, man.
Hey, I appreciate a piano bit. That's all. I mean, piano's awesome. It was just
because there's strings behind it.
It was just different. Is that it? There was string.
Yeah, that's still a stringed instrument, man.
It is.
I would have to say guitar punk rock would be different.
Yeah,
no matter how you look at it. So
it is. It is.
And to have the whole Jason theme underlying, like I say,
haunted on top of that, right?
Right.
Haunted keyboard punk rock. This is getting. I've heard some weird genres. That's a pretty weird one, man.
It was different, but I mean, still, it was cool to be on the bill like that, and to just to be able to fill in for somebody that quick,
Now, how familiar were you with Broken Kingdom songs?
Well, funny enough, I helped them out the last time that they had an issue with a bass player, and I told him, when he called me that morning, he's like, "Hey, well, this new guy, he just walked away, basically. So, what do we do? Can you help us?" Like,
so he called you. He called you at 11 o'clock Saturday morning, asking you to play Saturday evening.
Yeah, because that's how quick it happened. Like,
right.
It's like I'm done. And it's like, well, there's only one guy we can call. So I went up.
Wow.
Yeah, I went upstairs and ran through the songs a couple times, and here we go.
Right. Hail Mary.
Yeah, here we go. I guess it was fun though. I mean, any gig I can play that's outside of my box, that's outside the norm, is that much better to me. Because you kind of get to express yourself a little bit different. For the different environment. So I think that's kind of cool.
Sort of a trial by fire situation almost too, where it's like 11 a.m. Hey, gig tonight on bass, my originals. Let's go.
Right.
Because how long had it been since you even picked the bass up? Is that something you do regularly? Because you're playing guitar most of the time.
I mean, when I'm picking around in the studio, sure, I'll play around on a bass, but not playing out ever.
Right.
So I was just doing it as a favor for these guys, and it just happened again, I guess. So, yeah.
Where was the first gig you did it with them?
Where was that? It was somewhere in Macomb. It was like an after party.
So
Yeah,
they play in Macomb. They play in Overland. They don't have any gigs anywhere close, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. I guess it's just kind of with the whole situation going on, man. How do you?
They're trying to be a circuit band. They're trying to create their own touring circuit. That's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to begin to look for a gig in Macomb.
Yeah. Jimmy does it, man. He gets it done.
That's awesome, man.
And that's cool. Yeah.
Good guys. We just had them on back about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and nice guys. Interesting. I always love to see guys playing original stuff, so that's cool.
Yeah.
You do a lot of original stuff, also.
I try to. I've been working on a lot more, trying to get a lot more written. It's kind of hard sometimes. I think anybody that writes songs, you hit like a brick wall sometimes. It's like you get an idea and then it just kind of stops there.
the bursting of the idea or the forthcoming of the idea is always the fun part. The hammering it out.
Yeah.
That's sort of the work part.
That is.
It's always fun to have the idea and go, oh, I got an idea. and the birth of the idea is great, but then, like, you know, depending on how big the project, the bigger the project, the more it's work to hammer it out right or iron it out.
I found it's easier, though, to like try to do it in one session. That way, that's your mindset, and that's where you're trying to be within that song or whatever. But anyhow,
instead of letting it linger and going day after day, and then 3 weeks later you're working on the same song, going, I really don't feel the same way as those first lines.
Right.
I've had time to think about that whole situation.
And then there's the doubt that comes with that, you know.
Right. So now, do I even want to do this song?
Right.
Let's make it tongue in cheek at this point. I've already got half a song. So what if it's all wrong?
Like, what do I do with this? I throw this away? Yeah.
Yeah. I've thrown away way more than I've ever actually finished, for sure.
Right.
You know, you always have that moment where you feel so righteous and right about something, and you're scribbling the words manically, and the next morning you're like, oh, you wretched, poor.
What is this?
First of all, why is it on black paper with black ink? I can't see what I'm doing.
Turn on the light.
Usually the black paper and black ink is a sign that you have one of those evil woman walk away Ronnie James Dio type songs that
Back
you were
of the fist.
penning. Yeah, you probably had a cape, a towel for a cape when you wrote it. I don't know. Maybe we write differently. I don't know.
He says mine usually involves jumping off the couch, spinning circles.
Right. Well, you got to get in the mood, right?
Yeah.
I do like that idea though of writing in one session. That's great, and I think a lot of the easy ones, they come out like that. They just you start writing and you don't stop until it's over, and then if anything, you're like, oh, I got 4 pages. I need to take some of this out.
Yeah.
So now, do you do some of your original stuff with LedSled?
I've recently tried to pull some back into the set list. We kind of got away from it for a while. I don't know why. I guess I just kind of made that choice to pull them.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows them, so it's kind of hard to, throw them out there. But
got to work them in there.
But right, and I've come to that conclusion. It's like, what's the point of writing these things if I'm not playing them? So
there you go. Now, didn't you record some in the loft sessions? Some of your originals?
We did. Fear Demands to Be Felt. And the other song was Nothing in Return. I'd actually wrote that with a friend of mine, Mike Remsen. Wish I saw more of that guy. But he lives over in Indiana now, so we're a little far apart. But, still love the dude. Still like to see him.
You can use modern day technology to write with him. Do it all over the,
FaceTime is real.
FaceTime is real. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. No.
Hey, once it's
real time is face.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait.
I don't know. I don't know what that means anymore. So but yeah. I mean, a lot of we meet a lot of bands. What was that? The Saws. They all live all over the state. A lot of them up by Chicago, but they still write together constantly just by putting stuff up on the drive, and you take it down, add your parts, send it on to the next guy.
Yeah. So email is an amazing thing.
Don't let distance stop you from living your dream. That's the message of the show this week.
If you take anything away.
If you take anything away from this show, remember, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's all there is to take away. So yeah, anyway, so that's cool. I remember LedSled had done some, like with the loft sessions, had done some original stuff. And then the last couple times I seen you play, I didn't hear any of it coming out. So I was kind of wondering. I'm like, next time I see him, I'm gonna have to ask him.
Yeah, we're gonna be bringing that for sure. We've actually added a guy. He plays in with us the biggest part of the time. Chad Seibert sitting in drumming with us. Yeah,
nice.
It's pretty cool, man. As long as we've all been doing it, it just kind of fell out. It was pretty cool, So, Chad's an all right guy, and he can play them drums like nothing I've ever seen. So,
Cool. How long's he been hanging out with you now?
I guess, man, a year or two at least. I would imagine off and on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't with you the last cut. Like last year at Family Fest, it was a 3-piece.
Right.
Now the last time I saw you play, it was just you up at Proof.
Yeah.
And that was cool because it was just you acoustically, which was like, you can't get much more bare bones than that. Just you, your acoustic, and your voice, man. And it sounded good.
I'm telling that's a hard gig, though, man.
That's naked. That's playing naked right there, man.
Yeah. And you're out there trying to do it and impress people. And sometimes you get a reaction, but, a lot of times you don't.
I'm telling you what, the first time I went up with just an acoustic and me, I really realized how bad I was. There wasn't a band to cover up any of my mistakes or to help keep me on time or in line or,
There's nobody to hide behind for sure,
it's daunting. Even Johnny Cash, after June died, and he hooked up with Rick Rubin and did all those American recordings or whatever. He said that just him with his acoustic was daunting to him at that age. After all he had done, all the albums and all the years of touring with Elvis, wasn't daunting to him. But to be alone with just him and his voice and his guitar, man, you've got a beautiful baritone voice. You can, you know how to play a guitar. What's daunting about Johnny Cash? Now me.
So I've got this padded room with a microphone, Mr. Cash.
Right.
I'd like you to come sit down and play some songs for me.
It's hard to think that a guy of his stature would feel naked the way that the rest of us do at that moment. But it's.
I don't know. He seemed a little more comfortable behind that thing, I think.
Like I say, when you see him play and the videos of it, it seems like he's fine. But the interview when he said when Rick Rubin first asked him to do it, and he first found himself with headphones on and just. I've been there, man, but I don't have that. I don't have the voice John he's got. If I had that voice, I'd go door to door jamming. Want to hear what I sound like? Hey, well, I hear the train a coming. Right. On to the next door, knocking.
But I think that Rick Rubin put a little more pressure because that he's a pretty amazing producer, and I hear that he's pretty amazing to work with. So
if I could pick any producer to work with, it would probably be him. I love Terry Date for some certain things, but man, Rick Rubin would probably be my number one choice there. That guy's done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so LedSled got the big show next weekend coming up. Not this weekend. Now this weekend you got the 95th reunion, and then the following weekend driving out to Effingham.
Yeah, that's going to be a good time, for sure.
We're turning to Framley Fest for the second time, which is awesome. Thanks so much for coming out and doing that. Dennis over there, he's going to be there, too. He's going to be out there camping in the woods.
I am.
I heard he's going to be hunting Sasquatch.
I'm not going to be camping. I'm going to be tripping in the woods.
Right?
On sticks?
Yeah. Just freaking out.
Yeah.
In general.
Just having a good time.
Right. That's what you do at festivals.
And hunting the Sasquatch. Or you'll be in search of the Sasquatch.
I don't know about that.
You don't know? You think
I don't want to load up all the trail cams and all the stuff,
all the things it takes to find. I think he just shows up if you start playing music in the woods. I think he just shows up with his sax.
I'm planning a lot of lawn chair time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Little relax.
After 30 years, that's about all you got left. lawn chair.
Now, what about when your time comes for the stage? You going to sit in the lawn chair then, or?
Well,
I bet he doesn't.
I'm going to be a tick slower for sure than normal, which puts me about average, I guess.
a tick slower than normal.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't had room to move while we've been rehearsing, so I think moving too much may be a mistake. I'm going to lose my breath if I do that.
I feel you on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been about maybe going on 3 years now. So.
Since you guys did your last show, and 30 years since the band started, 3 years since the last show. So you're
roughly something like that.
You're gonna be a little more tame than normal. Huh?
Oh yeah, but props to Isaac as we had him on. What was that, last week?
Yeah, last week.
He has put in a bunch of hard work. I was talking to him about that last week, and he's like, this hasn't been hard work. This has been a blast.
Well, that's because he loves music.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? When you got that kind of support behind you, it's going to be a blast.
And that's the attitude you should always have when you're playing music. If it's not fun, somebody should be paying you a lot of money to do it. You know what I mean?
And you should not be moving your own gear.
As far as I'm concerned, still at this point in my life, I've never been paid to play. I've only been paid to move equipment. You know, I mean, at the end of the night when I'm handed a little stag of cash, I'm like, that's for moving the equipment.
Hey, I forgot to mention something fun that was going on tonight, and that's the night market.
Oh, man.
Down there at Pocket Park,
How in the world did we miss that?
And our buddy's Hideous Gentleman down there.
Oh, yeah, there
tonight.
you go.
So,
love those guys, man. Dave Kerbach and the crew going down there, and the whole Thursday crew with Sally Kerbach and Sarah McGivney and Sarah Schumaki. I bet they'll all be down there partying, having a good time.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the Dead Roses are next week.
Yeah.
So you got Hideous Gentleman this week, and then next week the Dead Roses. So, and the Dead Roses are going to be with us.
They'll be after they do the
Next
night
week.
market. They'll be coming up to Framley Fest.
Why don't you give us a list of who's going to be at Framley Fest while we're on this? People are like, man, what's going on here? Fill us in a little deeper.
All right. So
we kind of been just skimming over it.
Yeah, we have. I don't know that we've actually given an
it's hard to toot your own horn. What we want to do is have some fun, and we're hoping some people come.
Absolutely, it's easy to toot other people's horns, not so easy to toot.
Because you will lose money again. So
whatever.
Get over that.
Whatever.
Move on. Right?
I've accepted that year after year throwing a festival.
Right.
It's always a big expense, but you know what? It costs money to throw a party, and that's all it is a big party.
Right, and it's way more fun to spend money on something like this than whatever.
And everybody who does come out and buys a ticket or buys a T-shirt or does any of that, thank you, because what you pay chips in to help keep it going. Because if I lose too much at some point, my wife's going to be like, "Come on, you can't keep doing this." If she found out how much I really lost already, it probably would be no good. But
hey, she might be listening.
Oh, geez, I forget we're on the radio. I know. We barely lose anything, really. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a scrape, really. So anyway, here we go.
We'll get some hot dogs out of it.
I'm going to give the lineup here.
There you go.
So starting on Friday, we got Autumn Conkle, possibly Autumn Conkle and friends. I heard she might have a couple.
She might have friends.
I heard she might have a couple, 2 or 3 people sitting in on the stage with her this time, which she always plays solo every time I've seen her. So I hope so. After that, we got Cricket and the Grilled Avocados, the Framley Values Band.
That's you. 71 views from last year. That's good.
I can't believe 71 people would watch me play.
Well, it's not 71 people.
Well, 71.
It's your guitar player like
20 times, right? So, all right, there you go. So, after Framley Values, we got Bathtub Hooch.
Oh.
Our buddies Hayes Bond coming back for a second year.
Oh, yeah.
The Fade, we've had them on the show before. Tiger Uppercut. Bathtub Hooch, I mentioned earlier, that's a band from Effingham.
Okay.
Tiger Uppercut, also a band from Effingham.
It's kind of Effingham night Friday.
Yeah.
For all the folks that are trying to get up there, that's better for them.
A couple of Effingham bands going on there. Also, we got on Friday the Goose Miller Band, who is awesome.
Right.
Cottonmouth.
Wow.
Playing from 9:25 to 10:25.
We have to go after Goose Miller?
Yeah.
I need to rethink this.
Yeah, well,
They're solid.
They are solid.
We're not so solid.
What?
Well, compared to them.
I was promised a solid act.
Well, we make promises, but you know how it goes.
Alex is through the window, shrugging it off, going, I don't know. Anyway, so we got Cottonmouth, and then finishing up that night, Circo.
Right.
So that is
they're Effingham, right? No,
they are St. Louis. Okay, they're a St. Louis band. But there you go. That is the Friday lineup for Framley Fest. The Saturday lineup for Framley Fest, we got the Dead Roses, followed by LedSled, Moon Glasses, the Love Preachers, Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers. There's our third Effingham band.
Okay.
So they're on Saturday, though. Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers, followed by the Sandwich Brothers Band, followed by Hookie, then Spilly Nelson, and then 2 sets of Sean Cannon's Voodoo Players doing Voodoo Dead, Grateful Dead. So that is the Saturday lineup.
Right. A lot of those videos from last year, some of those bands we got on video, right, at cottonmouth.org.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And at framleyfest.org. Taylor.com.
Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers, their video's up. Spilly Nelson's video is up. Family Values video is up. Circo, Goose Miller.
Terrapin Flyer pushing 400 views now.
Terrapin Flyer, yeah, that was a good one with Mr. Tom Constantin of the Grateful Dead and Siki Ruadepaju, who I just got to see him play up at Wrigley Field with the Dead a few weeks ago. That
you
was
just
amazing.
like saying his name. It's like it's like a song in itself.
Repeat that.
Siki Ruadepaju.
Yeah, I'm with him. I think he just like to say his name.
Listen, this was what was when I was told by Doug Hagman from Terrapin Flyer. He said, "Hey, Siki Ruadepaju is gonna play your festival," and I had already hired him to have Tom Constantin of the Grateful Dead. And he says, Siki Ruadepaju of the Mickey Hart Band and Richie Shakin' Nagan of Parliament are also going to play. I said, great, man. And I just assumed Siki Ru was just over here doing something because he's from Africa. He flew from Africa into St. Louis and then got a ride. Or no, he flew into Chicago and then got a ride down from Chicago to Effingham to play.
Wow.
That's what I said. That's amazing to come play our little festival.
Yeah.
And then I just saw him play at Wrigley Field with the Dead and Company to a two-night sold out at Wrigley Field 2 weeks ago. And
I bet that was an awesome show.
Yeah, and he flew in to play Little Effingham. That's amazing, man. But anyway,
it is.
Yeah. So anyway,
and he would have flown into effing bacon or effing pork or effing steak or effing vegetarian probably. I was waiting for that joke the last couple of years, but no one's done it yet.
I do like my effing vodka.
Right?
I don't know if you've had it, EFFIN. My wife just likes to come home and go, here's your effing vodka.
It's like, wait, do you mean that? Or
that is the brand name, EFFIN. Effin. It's from Amsterdam or something like that, I think.
Really?
Yeah, anyway, good vodka. So there you go.
You want to go over some Friday night stuff and then take a break?
Yeah,
and
we better get into it.
Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, we better get into it.
So down at Jacoby's Friday night, a couple of your favorite artists going to be tributed.
Shaky Deal, baby.
Right, Shaky Deal and Michael 20 doing a Neil Young tribute, and then Bob Dylan tribute as well.
That's going to be good right there.
And that's at 6:30 at Jacoby's Art Center on Friday night. Matt Taul doing his Bigelos Bistro gig, 6 to 9.
Every Friday.
Out at Bakers and Hale, they're going to have a Ride for Rhianna. It's a benefit held in remembrance of Rhianna Young, who passed away. They're raising money for her family. And Billy Hurst going to play that at 7 o'clock.
Nice. We haven't talked to Billy for a while. We got to get him back on the show, man. Interesting. Not only is he a good musician, also a great photographer.
He won Star Search.
He won Star Search when he was a kid. Yeah, he won Star Search when he was a kid. But he's a great photographer. He's a photographer for the Blues and for the Cardinals. And so interesting guy, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to get him back on. So that's out at Bakers and Hale. Go see Billy Hurst out there.
That's
good cause.
Friday, yeah.
Good cause.
And then Hookie going to do the Chez, Marilyn gig Friday night.
Hookie.
Fritz Beer still in town. He'll be with Gigi, Stavros, Darr at 7:30 at Bossanova in Alton.
We found out she's kin to Gus Codros.
Right.
What cousins?
Right.
There you go. Small world.
I don't think they'll do a Bishop song, but they might.
Oh, they will. If we ask them to, they will. No.
Yeah,
they're a bossa nova. Get enough martinis in them, they will.
For sure. For sure. Mondin Acoustic at the Franchise in Wood River on Friday night. Blackwater Revival down at the Pump House at 9:30. Flipside doing Imperial Pub in Granite on Friday night. And we'll move on to the Grafton scene. Let's see. Randy Clemens, 5 to 9 at AERIE'S Resort in Grafton. Now we're getting into Brett Lamar's stomping grounds, right? You play up in Grafton a little bit, right?
Yeah, we hit up the Oyster Bar quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty good place.
Yeah, Brad's got a good spot right there for sure.
Absolutely, man. It's the Key West of the Midwest, Grafton.
That's it.
Yeah, and getting things back together, and they need your support up there. So
absolutely,
it's a perfect time to take that road trip up the beautiful River Road that's open again, and take a look at what happened during that flood a little bit, and give them some support because, man, they need it up there.
I believe I'm going to drive up this weekend and purchase some beverages.
Well, you can check out some wrestling while you're up there this weekend.
Really?
Right, at the loading dock. They got Scott and Carl at 6, and then the Bloody Bucket Dynamo Pro Wrestling presenting Riot on the River at 7 p.m. at the loading dock.
Wow, I did not know that was a place for wrestling, but there you go.
That guy called in one time on the show, remember?
I do
when
remember
they did
that.
last year.
Yeah, I
Riot
do
on the
remember it
River.
now. Yeah, it's just not something I would think about when I think of the loading dock.
Right.
So,
Cool.
But
That's a
I,
cool
but I might end up at the loading dock
There
before the
you go.
weekend's over. I suddenly feel like
You get a
I
few
will.
drinks in you, and you'll be like, let's go watch some wrestling.
I might get involved. I might just get involved. You don't know. It's happened before.
He has
So,
been in the ring, folks.
here we go. A hard drive is going to be up at the back bar this Friday night at 9 p.m.
That's up in Edwardsville.
Edwardsville, yep.
Bags fly free 5 to 8, and the NGK band at 9 p.m. at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville.
Right around the corner from the back bar.
All right.
We got the Doc Holiday Band, 9:30 p.m. at Deutz Village Inn in Pontoon Beach.
Right. Adam Gaffney doing George's Local Brew in Jerseyville at 7 p.m.
According to Brett Lamar's bandmate Jared Capps, that is the only place, George's Local Brew, the only place you can get a proper dirty martini in the whole of Jerseyville.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I've heard him say it, so
I'm going to
yeah.
have to put that to the test one of these days. I don't know what a dirty martini is. It sounds dirty.
It does.
Have
That's
you,
probably why I don't drink them.
Yeah.
have you done the George's Local Brew thing?
No, I haven't.
That's kind of
You and George don't get along, right?
I don't even know who George is.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to start some trying to make good radio here. Ooh, it was all dramatic.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know who George is.
I'm just kidding.
Fake news or fake panda. But yeah, it's usually a solo acoustic. It's a small place, but man, great food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and been doing a lot of music lately. So.
Yeah.
There you go. So there we go. 12th Street Johnny and Southside Bluesy Boy at Hooch and 16s in Granite City. Hooch and 16 in Granite City. I said 16s. There's not two of them. Hooch and 16 in Granite City.
Some smooth announcing there.
I know. I'm a professional.
You are. And then the Vault from 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. That's all Friday night.
That is a pretty good Friday night for the Riverbend area. That's this side of the river, man. That's not the other side of the river.
That's true. And it's really kind of centrally located. There wasn't much outside of Granite, Edwardsville, and Alton there, really.
No.
A little bit, but, you know, Grafton, I mean.
Not a whole lot. Basically Grafton to Edwardsville there, so. Awesome.
Sweet. We love our river band, and we love how there's a ton of stuff to do. We love our sponsor, Halpin Music Company, and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis for giving us the opportunity to go on and support all these local musicians who are getting out there doing the live thing.
Well, it was just in Halpin yesterday.
You know, they're getting ready for back to school, and it's a good time to think about that. You know, get something out of the way before school's right up on you, right? And it might be a time to tune up that instrument, get it serviced.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to that. And then they got those crazy deals going on.
What is the crazy deal of the week?
Well, they got 10% off Marshall and Harkey. And then they got a Vox VT 180 at $159.99.
Nice.
And a Fender Blues Junior 4 at $499.99. That's $100 off there.
There you go. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
I was just in there yesterday. All I got was strings because I couldn't. I drooled over a lot of the other things.
I try to go in there with blinders on so I don't look at anything else. Like wall of guitars, no. Strings, there we go.
Yeah.
Because you know, even though you don't have the money, you're still going to be like, I want that.
I kind of like that guy. Let me play this thing for a second.
Right. Yeah.
What do you say we take a quick break, get our sponsors a chance to do their thing, and we'll be back with more here on the old radio. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right, back with more Riverbend talent after this.
And now more Riverbend talent.
With Dennis Laird and Pig Pen.
We're back.
We're back. And we got Brett Guitar Lamar with us from the band LedSled.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming down again and joining us. Oh, by the way, we're brought to you by Halpin Music and Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance.
Man, you were on it.
I'm trying to act professional. Professional, they'll never know the difference.
You ever thought about buying a flute?
I have a flute.
Do you?
I do.
I had no idea what a flute cost, but I was checking out Halpin Music's Facebook page, and they've got a Yamaha. It's a YFL 372H. This thing is beautiful.
And that's like a real flute.
Yeah, it's an Allegro flute, right? 1584.
Nice.
So,
there you go.
I didn't realize they were $1,500 though.
Well, all of the brass instruments are always, and wind instruments are always a little more than what some of us rock and roll people are ready for, because
that's drummer territory there.
Yeah. But you know what? They're hard instruments to make. Much harder to craft a flute than it is to craft a guitar.
But if you're a parent whose kid's about to take up flute, don't flip out.
No.
Where am I going to come up with that? Well, that's a little more advanced when they really get to learn. You can just go to Halpin and rent an instrument, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've done it for I've done it for my kids, where you just you go in, you rent the instrument for the school year. Take it back at the end of the school year. Done and done, man. Or here's one of the great things about Halpin, too. So say your kid wants to play saxophone, right? And you rent it for a year. And then they go ahead and keep it over the summer because they like it, and then they rent it the next year. Now you got 2 years of rental in this thing. If you decide you want to buy that,
right,
all that is money towards buying it. So you don't have to start all over. If your kid decides after 2-3 years of playing, they go, you know what, I really love the saxophone. I think I want to play forever. You've almost paid it off by that point.
Yeah.
So.
And then what have they been doing that for 100 years?
They've been doing it like that since the beginning of time.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a pretty good program.
Yeah, it
really
is. They are great about encouraging kids, and their whole kids rock thing, where they take little kids and put them in bands together. Yep. It's amazing, man, because that's the next generation of musicians.
Yeah, and always behind the schools and supporting any summer camps that the schools put on. So
absolutely, and like we say, that's the next generation of musicians. If we don't teach them how to use their 12 notes wisely. No, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Oh, grasshopper.
That's when they start saying their alphabet and you stop them at G.
Yeah.
No. You don't need any more.
Yeah. What are you doing going past G? What do you think this is?
You're learning the wrong alphabet, son.
Right. A musician's alphabet goes A to G, and that's it, man. That's it. Couple sharps, couple flats, whatever.
They're in there.
They're in there. So kudos to Halpin for all they do for the community, and all you do for the community with your playing of your instrument and brightening our mood, brightening our mood.
A mood.
Yes. Do you know what a mood is? I have no idea.
And the word of the day is.
There you go. So looking forward to having you guys come back up to Framley Fest again.
Man, I tell you what. Thanks for inviting us last year. Thanks for inviting us this year. It was a good time, man.
And it is a fun time.
What I remember most was there was a fellow across from us that had like a shop, a bunch of clothes and stuff. And he comes over. He's like, "You think maybe we could turn the speaker?" Not really knowing what to expect from us,
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he's like, "I really like you guys."
First, he thought he was looking at those speakers pointing right at his shop, going, "Oh no,
this is going to be terrible."
Yeah.
He's like, well.
Yeah, you know what that was? That little shakedown stage, as we called it. The stage in the woods that you guys played one day, and the Grand Band played the next day. It was neat because it helped get people down toward the vendors.
Yeah.
You'll be on the Cottonmouth.org stage this year.
Oh.
That's the backstage back there. It's called, officially, the venue calls it the Shady Stage.
The Shady Stage.
You don't know if it's because there's lots of trees around, or because that's where you're bound to get stabbed. No, nobody's getting stabbed there.
What I thought was cool though is it was just a nice little off to the side stage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where we're playing music, man. It just.
Well, when you're doing an all day or 2 all day event like that, you really want to just get as much music as you can in.
Of course.
How can we possibly squeeze another hour of music out of this day?
You think you three bands could just join up and have a jam session for an hour and a half?
One of my favorite places, I'll miss it forever, was we had to hear a guy named Dan Brown had the Musicians Club right down here on Broadway. And it was sort of like a motorcycle club, except for musicians. And to get in, somebody had to bring in and introduce you to Dan, and then Dan would say, "Get on stage and play." And that's how you became a member. And then once you're there, you would go in, and so you don't know who would be there on a Friday night. You'd show up, and sometimes, you'd look around and go, you and you, let's go do something. You're a drummer, you're a bass player. I play a guitar.
It's like, I know you can handle this. Let's go.
Some of the most fun nights were the nights when it wasn't packed, and Dan would let 3 or 4 guys go for hours, and suddenly it's Jazz Odyssey 2000 going on up there.
So I think some of the best music you can make is when you're outside of your box, man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's like you get so used to driving the same thing all the time. It's like when you get a chance to break loose and do something different. That to me is what's awesome about music.
Absolutely.
Getting placed anywhere and being able to just keep pace, That's
right. And not be asked to leave.
Right. Yeah.
To be brought into a circle on a random whim and not be told, could you just turn down,
Right. Can you not come back next time?
Yeah.
I've been asked to not come back way more times than I've been asked to come back. Should we do these Saturday gigs? We're down to about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
here.
we could do a little bit of that. Let's head on out to Cottage Hills for Saturday night and Amped Up at Doc Holidays in Cottage Hills.
Nice.
Guy Canto Wine and Friends, 7 p.m. at the Old Bakery Brewery in Alton on Saturday.
Cool.
And the Works Band at 8 p.m. at Chez, Maryland in Alton.
Nice. We got Rivertown at 5 p.m. down at the Brown Bag Bistro. We got Jay and Karen, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lovejoy's in Alton. That's the old Elijah P's down there.
Right.
Sit Down and Get Down, 5 p.m. at the Pump House. And then Champagne Fix, 9 p.m. at the Pump House.
That's it. Jim and Carl, Blackwater Revival, and Jay and the TJ. Jay and TJ.
Jay and TJ. Yeah.
3 to 6 at AERIE'S Resort in Grafton. They got a party going on there. 3 bands.
Wow.
Up at AERIE'S.
Right on. Sounds like a
Saturday.
good time.
Mm-hmm. Terry Beck going to be up at Grafton Winery from 3 to 7.
Got Flip the Frog, 6 to 10 p.m. at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield.
Yeah, you think the Hog Pit's going? I bet it is.
I bet it is.
They've got the 4th Street Band listed at 6 p.m. at the Hog Pit in Grafton.
Excellent. Got Jake's Legs, 6 p.m. at the Loading Dock. Now, I told you.
I knew you were going up there, but it's going to be Saturday.
I told you earlier. I said, I bet I end up there by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
I bet I do end up there by the weekend.
You very seldom miss Jake's Leg.
I do like me some Jake's Leg, man.
Yeah,
Those
you
guys, they do it right, man. They do a good job.
You're a good puppy. All right. Brad No from 5 to 8 and Poor Dirty Astronauts at 9 p.m. at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville.
Haven't heard that name for a while, but I do love that name, the Poor Dirty Astronauts.
Right.
I don't know. I'm back to Bathroom Hooch, man. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
Bathtub Hooch.
bathtub. Yeah,
Bathtub Hooch.
That's a great name.
That is a good name, man. I always like it when I hear names that make me giggle, It's like, oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And then they play your festival. Usually.
That's right.
Right.
A lot of times, yeah.
I'm still waiting for Thurston Howell to play your festival.
I haven't got to meet Thurston Howell yet,
Right.
man. I got to get out and see Thurston Howell because I do love that name.
You do.
Yeah, Thirst and Howell.
Well, the Doc Holiday Band is doing Joyce Village Inn in Pontoon Beach on Saturday at 9:30.
We got Rap Night with Laguni.
Yeah.
8:30 at Imperial Pub down in Grand City.
There they go again down in Imperial. They switch it up.
They do not keep the same thing going. It's
That
always
is-
something different going on.
That's cool. So they're doing rap.
There you go, Rap
Imperial
Night
Pub, right.
with Laguni, 8:30 p.m.
Our buddies, the Beer Cats, they are playing at Patrick's in Granite City. That used to be Eddie's forever.
Right.
Right.
We got comedian Greg Warren, 7 p.m. And 9:15 p.m. at the Wild E Theater. I guess that's 2 shows, 7 p.m. and
he's
9:15 p.m.
he's recording a special that night.
Nice.
So
There you
can
go.
be in
So
the special.
you could end up being on the pilot or on the special. Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
you were in the pilot, I think.
Salmon Creek, 8 p.m. at the Creek, or at the cabin at Judy's Creek
Yeah.
in Glen Carbon.
So that's Salmon Creek, 8 p.m. at the cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon.
That's a lot of creeks.
It is.
It is.
I was almost up the creek trying to get that one out.
You're struggling.
I was struggling. We got Scott and Michelle, 6 p.m., Big Daddy's in Edwardsville.
Right, and then Mindbender, 8 p.m. at Roosters in Staunton. Have you ever played up in Staunton, Brett?
No, I haven't.
I've heard it's a pretty happening little town.
Yeah.
A couple, 2 or 3 places to play. One of them is always mentioned is Roosters. A little stop there.
Yeah, we'll have to check that place out.
That's where the Goose Miller Band hails from, up in the Staunton area. So they
Man, we got to follow those guys at Bramley Fest. Man, it's going to be tough. I'm just saying. Those guys are awesome.
They do a fine job, don't they?
Yeah, well, we'll be on the other stage. They'll give us a break because we're on the other stage, right?
No, man.
No breaks?
There's going to be a big announcement right before you play. And now following the Goose Miller Band.
Man.
The only guys who said they could do it, other than Jimi Hendrix. No. The ghost of Jimi Hendrix is going to play my festival
that's
next
some
year.
fake news.
That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, some real fake
As soon as I get my hologram machine.
Who can we summon this year, right?
Not the ghost of Michael Jackson. He keeps trying to
No.
touch me. I don't know.
Get in touch. Right?
I'm way too
With
old
you.
for Michael Jackson. I know that.
terrible.
I know. I'm fooling myself. That's all. I'm fooling myself. All right, we should do Sunday. We're down to 5 minutes here.
Okay, Alton Muni Band in Haskell Park, 7 to 8 p.m. on Sundays.
We got Kurt Copeland's Sunday Fun Day open mic at the Proof in Jerseyville. That happens every Sunday at 3 p.m.
No, I guarantee you've been up and done some of the fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right in my backyard.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And Kurt Copeland's right in your backyard, too, isn't he?
I tell you, that's terrible.
that's terrible, I tell you. No, Kurt's a good guy, man.
Copeland, he is a good guy, man.
Good guy.
Everybody's best friend, as Jared says.
Yeah.
There you go. And we also got open mic Sunday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. at the Stagger. We had kind of mentioned that already, but going back to our Sunday.
Grand Band doing 2 p.m. at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield on Sunday. Jonathan Baker doing 2 to 6 at AERIE'S Resort in Grafton. Ibis Johns doing 2 to 6 at the Grafton Winery.
And we got the Truckers, 4 p.m. at the loading dock on Sunday. Good weekend going on at the loading dock, from all the way from the wrestling to Jake's Leg, now the Truckers. There you go.
We'll do the cabin at Judy Creek. See if you can do it better this time.
We got, the Shirts, 2 p.m. at the cabin at Judy Creek. See, there's only one creek. That was so much easier.
That's why I give you the shirts that time.
The Shirts.
You know you're running out of band names.
You know what? You do give me the Shirts.
Right. We talk about, how to come up with a band name. I bet the Shirts is one that they probably, that's theirs.
If you Google it, I Googled it just now in my mind, and there's another band called the Shirts. They're huge over in Puerto Rico. The Shirts Band? Yeah, the Shirts Band. They're huge in Puerto Rico.
They are.
Puerto Rico.
No, I don't know.
Fake news.
In Philippines.
San Juan.
Philippines. Yeah.
I figured their search would probably run into like Fruit of the Loom more often than other bands.
Right. Why do I keep getting Gildan's site? But
there's still more going on Sunday.
Oh, my
There's
gosh.
Another page.
Corey Evans, 3:30 p.m. at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville.
Right. Acoustic Crush, 2 p.m. at the Grafton Oyster Bar.
Which is one of your spots.
That is one of our spots. We're there the 27th, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, we're double gigging that day for sure.
Yeah, you got one, and then you got to hit the road to head back for another.
Yes, sir.
Long drive there.
Yep.
Bob Giffen Duo, 4 p.m. at the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club in Brighton, Illinois.
That's Griffin, by the way.
What did I say?
Gibbon.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Right now, Bob's like, what do you mean, whatever? This is my name we're talking about.
Same thing, right?
Bob Griffin. For the Bob Griffin Duo, 4 p.m. at the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club.
And then on Monday nights, right here at the Bottle and Barrel in Alton, the open mic, 7 p.m., hosted by the Extraordinary Blues Band.
There you go.
And then they do Fosterburg concerts in the park.
Every Monday for the summer.
And Rock and Rhythm with Robert's a Tuesday night thing. It's not every Tuesday, but
there you go.
You can search that.
That is a lot going on.
And we didn't even mention
Band.
many weeks, and we should, because Best Eddie's, bonair.com.
Oh,
right?
man, yeah, there you
3
go.
bands a day. Almost every day.
7 days a week. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of music going on.
Just their
in this town.
website alone listing bands would take us 15 minutes.
That's kind of why we don't. And in all honesty, I don't think Eddie's needs our help. There's a line around the
don't.
block every time
There is.
because they got that great cheap food. They got
And
the three
good music.
three bands every day almost. So, yeah, but kudos to them for hiring 3 bands a day. Thanks for that.
That is cool.
So,
So there you go. We did it.
we did it. We survived another one.
Somehow we did.
Yeah, big thanks to Brett Guitar Lamar. I got to throw the guitar in there because it just, it puts you on this Steve Guitar Miller kind of level.
It's definitely unique, right?
I just hope when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, you snap on him as much as Steve Miller did. If your name is guitar, you're supposed to snap on the Hall of Fame. It's like a rule.
Yeah, it's gotta be there, right?
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for coming down and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry that Nick and Jared didn't come down. I think Jared's mad at me. I got a little handsy with him last time I was up at Proof. I'd been drinking a lot. He's a good-looking guy.
Maybe it's because you haven't called him.
Oh,
After that, see, maybe that's it.
that's it.
I didn't
Blew him off.
want to seem desperate. I was hoping he'd call me. I didn't want to come off needy.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming down. Big thanks to LedSled for driving all the way out to Effingham, even when you got another gig to come back to that same night.
It's all good. Thanks for the opportunity, for sure.
Thanks to the Grafton Oyster Bar for giving you a paying gig so you can afford the gas to come play mine for free.
There you go.
Thanks to those guys, big time.
Hey, it's still a good time out there anyway,
Yeah, hey, it will be a good time. I appreciate you guys coming out and doing it. Look forward to seeing you out there. And if people want to find out about LedSled or want to book you or want to see where you're playing, you got a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page. Most of the time, it's easier to just LedSled Acoustic should pop up. We have a round emblem with our name in the middle of it. Pretty simple to find.
It's one word, right? LEDSLED.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're searching, that's how you type it in. It comes right up.
Yep.
Big Heavy Car. That's the other thing we call them.
That's it.
All right.
BHC for sure. Big Heavy Car. All right. Thanks so much, Brett.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming down, and thanks to my partner, Dennis. And
All right.
thanks to Alex over there in the wings who does all the videotaping for YouTube.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot to Alex Honky for doing that.
Big thanks to
Just
Halpin.
so much thanks to Alex Honky. So much.
Big thanks to Halpin Music. And,
Right, and I want to mention before we get out of here that you ever hear of an Ibanez Artcore AS53 semi-hollow body guitar? They got one of those.
I am unfamiliar, but I love the semi-hollow body
Well,
guitar.
it retails at $413. They got it at $299.99.
Does it have an F-hole?
It does.
I love a guitar with an F-hole.
I do.
They just
Or
look,
an F
they
butt.
look classic. They look classic, man.
They also got an electronic drum kit sitting there for $77.99.99.
Nice.
So just about $800.
So if you want if your kid's been begging you for a drum set and you're thinking, oh man, it's going to be so loud.
That's the way to go.
This is the way to go. You put headphones on them. All you'll hear is quietly in the other room.
Yeah.
So
Till he gets real good at double bass, and then you'll hear. And that's even better.
well, so hey everybody, thanks for listening in.
Yes, thanks as always for listening in. Thanks to Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance and, of course, Halpin Music for putting us on each week. And the Big Z, of course.
Thanks to all you for listening, and everybody, please remember to get out and support local music and art.
And talk to you next week.